Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Tanner.
I'm Nick.
And this is Witty Banter. This is our podcast where we talk about a lot of random shit and sometimes have guests on and stuff. So if you're new here, think about subscribing and sticking around. But today we're actually talking about a controversial topic that can go way down deep in the rabbit hole.
A lot of people are going to think this one's out there.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not really that out there if you look at first off, how many people believe in this sort of thing and like how many followers it has.
Right.
And I mean, there's been whole TV shows and stuff based around it. So go ahead and tell them the topic.
Are aliens real? How about Bigfoot? What do you think? Leave a comment down below before you get too far into the video and we push you in one way or the other. Comment now with the timestamp. Let us know what you believe in.
RenderForest.com.
And we're back. All right. So you want to start?
Where do we tackle this from?
So there's a million different angles we could go at this.
I feel like one thing that would really be good for aliens is, I don't know how much you know per se and how much you have ready, but if you could like present information of what people claim, because I pride myself in being a pretty good historian.
Okay.
I'm not the best, don't get me wrong, I'm not a great historian, but I know a little bit. I know, I would say, a fair amount more than the average person.
Right.
I almost have a bachelor's degree in it. And I've actually done all except my minor, which I have to decide what minor's going to be in. But I've done all the classes at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga for the history, with the exception of like two historical writing classes.
Right.
So I feel like I have enough college education. I would say what I would consider a bachelor level, because I've done everything for the major except for two writing classes that involve history.
Right.
So I have a little bit of yeah, Nick can kind of have a fair opinion in
about
this.
aliens.
Yeah. Well, it depends. See, about aliens.
Yeah, he's got a degree in aliens.
What'd you go to school for? I'm Bigfoot and aliens.
Yeah, I'm Bigfoot and alien boy.
No.
Bubba down there drinking his Budweiser on the porch knows more about Bigfoot than we do.
He probably does.
Yeah.
No, what I was getting at is what I have. A lot of people claim that aliens have visited Earth.
Right.
And they point to a lot of historical situations.
A lot of stuff.
There's a whole TV show called Ancient Aliens.
Yep.
Copyright the little picture in.
Right.
And so a lot of people claim that's why I'm saying I have not a degree in history,
right.
but I've almost
you know a lot about history.
I've studied. I've taken college level classes about history, so I have a little bit I can talk about it. No expert. And there's probably a lot. You might probably know a few people that know a lot more about history than I ever will.
Right.
But in this subject, I consider myself somewhat knowledgeable.
Right. Okay. This is two very, very large topics. There's two stances. There's a stance on each that I believe are the most convincing for aliens and one for Bigfoot. And those are the only two that I ever really argue or talk about.
You're pro alien?
No, well, hang on. So, with aliens and Bigfoot,
I'll go ahead and tell you, I'll be anti both. If you want to take the position of being pro, I'll be anti both because I don't believe in either.
Okay, wait, see, I wouldn't say that I necessarily believe. What I would say is these are the most convincing arguments that I've heard.
You've researched this.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. You go first. Okay. Tell me the convincing argument, and I will use, because I've talked to a lot of people about it. I know a lot of strange people who believe in a lot of strange things.
Aliens. We'll do aliens first.
Okay. You can take it from me. I went on about my education, but you can go from a historical perspective, or you can even go modern.
Okay.
And I promise no matter what you'll say.
My most convincing argument with aliens is that they are us from the future. And they are coming back in time.
We've had this talk before.
They're coming back in time. And what the matter is, the reason why they look all weird and stuff is because there's been an accident, there's been a fallout, something happened, and they're coming back and taking people now up into their ship. And the reason why they're always like, they did sexual things to me, is they're trying to find out a way to continue the human race in the future, and they're trying to find someone here that can help that.
Okay, see, when I talk to people, and every time the alien topic comes in, they throw up all the facts. See, me and Tanner have been friends for a long time, and we've talked about things in the past. With the argument he uses, what I throw to people, well, they're from other worlds. I'm like, it's more likely we invented time travel in the future and are trying to fix a bad situation. So you literally used an argument that I use against people against me on that one. There's no way you can argue that. It's like
you can't. There's
no
way to argue against
it. Because you can't. There's no.
It's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
You cannot prove against it.
You can't prove.
And that's the most convincing argument that I found, because it explains why.
And a lot of historical events that happen throughout history, the ancient aliens always say there's like an alien somewhere near.
It explains why they would be there, would be to help to better something in the future.
Or another idea. Mm-hmm. What if there was catastrophic events throughout history
and they stopped
that ended, like the human race was basically kept to very few because of these things, and they were like, we can go back and fix these things. What if that's like, the ancient alien guys were like, the technology, the pyramids and stuff. What if people from the future went back and like, we're going to help our past civilization, so there'll be more of us. Like, what if there weren't very many humans?
And that's why the pyramids are here. And
what if that's why they look different and stuff? They're like, we'll go back in time and help our ancestors, and that will like change things in the future. And then what if it caused bad things? Think about it. Like,
exactly.
What if World War II was never supposed to have happened, but somebody interfered?
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, there's a lot of good and bad that might have happened.
Now, I do have to say that, like I've said, that is the most convincing argument to aliens
That's the only argument I've ever heard, because I use it, that somebody can't be like, no, you're wrong because there's nothing you can argue against it. You can't prove that people eventually in the future did not find out time travel.
Right. Now, my whole thing with little green aliens, little green men on another planet, I don't believe in that.
That's so far-fetched. I mean, I have so many arguments against that. Like, for example, have you seen our planet?
Right.
Hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquake, lightning, disease, animals. If you're an outside like alien, see, we think of aliens in the aspect of like they're like us. They're curious. They want to explore. They want to know about. They want to, even if they are humanoid in a way. Why would you want to? Have you seen this planet?
Yeah.
Have you seen this planet?
Why would you want?
There is so much going on here. If you had no idea what a human being was or our history, and you float in your little spaceship and you're looking down at the world, look at what we do to each other. Look at what we do to our planet. Look what our planet does to us. Look what other animals do to each other. I mean, there are spots on of extreme heat, extreme cold. There are devastating storms. The earth is constantly moving. Why would you want to land here? And even like War of the Worlds, you got to look at diseases. You're watching human beings fall over dead all the time from diseases and stuff.
That's another like huge conception or whatever, is that either one, they're looking for a new planet to inhabit. So like there's something wrong with their planet and they're sending out people to find a new planet, and they're like, well, they live on that planet. Let's see if we could. Or they are looking to like conquer our planet and like eat us.
That's
and
also
like steal our resources.
That's also giving the impression that we would not be able to defeat them.
Right. That they are like
they're
a
also,
lot smarter than
remember,
us.
they're looking down at our little thing, and if they've been observing for long enough, they know that we have mastered the art of killing. Well, they know everything. They've also seen how good we are at killing, especially each other.
They have surprise on their side, or whatever it is I'm trying to say right now. But like we know nothing that they have.
They're not too stealthy or technology, because there's video of them. Even though it looks like somebody, like, what's his name? Like, I think it was David Lopez did a thing. He's like, oh my God, a UFO. And he grabs his professional camera. No, don't use that. And he holds his laptop. And he's like, wow. That's all the footage we have of them.
Yeah.
But with that being said, though, I love David Lopez. Anyways, with that being said, though, they can't be too stealthy because people get them on camera and stuff all the time.
So you believe in them?
No, I don't.
You just said that they get caught on camera all the time.
I'm saying, if you believe in the whole thing is number one point of evidence, they point to, look at all the pictures and videos and stuff. They're getting something. I don't believe it's that.
They're getting something.
I don't believe it's that, though, but with all the good quality images that we have, like nobody's ever faked one.
Yeah.
But if they were real, hypothetically, then they're not that good at stealth, because people have got them on camera and stuff before. People have drew them in like paintings and stuff from back in the day. So I mean, how great is their technology if they're getting caught on film?
Right. there is a lot of stuff through history that is very, 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 very hard to explain. There has to be a reasonable explanation for these things, but a lot of people jump to the aliens helped or the aliens showed how.
See, and I just think, and I swear to you, Tanner, I feel like people do not give ancient people the credit they deserve.
Oh, I agree.
They're like,
I agree.
Human beings are incredibly intelligent. And yes, we've come up with different ways of doing things, but I mean, we as a species, we've overcome so much throughout time. If you look at us all as one group, we've overcome so much. We've done so many things, and I feel like these ancient people put blood, sweat, and tears into doing these things, and they've these magnificent accomplishments. And somebody's like, they could have never done that. That was aliens.
This is what I believe. I believe that we are held back by our accomplishments. We're held back by how far we've come.
Wow.
Because
that's deep, man.
Well, the reason being is we're looking at, let's say, the pyramids, and we're like, this is physically impossible with what we have today. Well, stop looking at it with what we have today. Look at what they would have had and how they would have done it. And I think that we just haven't thought about how they would have done it the right way yet, because we're like, well, the only way we can explain to move this would be to make this crane and move it here. That's not how they did it.
Well, I mean,
we're held back because we're thinking of what we have today, not what they had.
Well, I don't. Tanner has made it clear to me, do not turn this into a history segment. This is a discussion.
Right.
But I mean, there a lot of the things we have. I'm trying to make this as unhistorical as possible. Is like the ancient Egyptians, for example. They came up with kind of like their own form of writing and stuff like that. One of the things was to keep track of who was doing what. Because it was a huge undertaking to build these things.
Right.
So they came up with who's doing the management things. They would write stuff down and be like, okay, this, that, supplies, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's extremely hard. It's extremely difficult. And some things were probably used with slave labor, which is never okay. But,
right.
I mean, that's how they got it. They basically took another human being and worked them to death and was like, how many people can we go through before we can get this built?
Exactly.
And they did amazing things. I feel like it's just so many people are just quick to say, well, they couldn't have done that. When they could.
They could.
Absolutely could.
They did.
They
obviously did.
With enough willpower,
right.
You can do things. It's just you're right. One thing I will agree with you is that we don't look at it. We look at it as how we would do it today and be like, well, they wouldn't have been able to do that. But if you want something done and you have enough people, you will figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
We have done, even there have been historical records of things we have done that are absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because look at it this way. People are like, well, they wouldn't have been able to have that technology back then. What about in the future, somebody looks back and go, did they really make an atom bomb in the 1940s?
Yeah.
Is that really possible? Maybe that was alien technology because they wouldn't have really been smart enough to figure that out.
Yeah.
But we were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah, because in the future they're going to be like the 1940s. Their planes, weren't even pressurized.
Yeah.
They're hanging out of planes. So if they really came up with splitting the atom, and that, they really came up with that. And yeah, we did. So I mean, that's one way to look at it. You understand? So yeah, it's possible. And so I mean, that's one big point that needs to be made. Is probably in the future people look back to World War II and they're like, "There's no way they could have done that." You know what I'm saying?
Right. I really like that point. I've never thought about that before.
So eventually, it's going to get even further, and people are going to be like, "Yeah, well, and they'll turn around and point to things that aren't that old to us, that we know people did. Even though there's probably some people out there still going to say, well, no, they did get that from aliens because there's no way we could have thought of it.
Yeah.
But, anyways, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I would say that there's a lot of things that we don't understand now. That this is such a huge rabbit hole, because back in the day, World War II, whatever, Hitler had people scouring the globe for religious artifacts, aliens, and he believed that he figured out time travel. There's people that believe that Hitler figured out time travel.
I've never heard that.
Really?
Before.
That's
a first.
Really?
I've never heard that.
Okay, so whenever
it sounds like you've been watching a lot of Indiana Jones and stuff.
No, but
I didn't say insert intro theme music.
It was actually like on the news in like the 60s or 70s that a bell-shaped
the bell
thing fell out of the sky.
Fell out of the sky.
Yeah, it just fell out of the sky.
Now, the Nazis were building something that looked like, it was actually, I believe in German, it was called the Bell. But a lot of, like, from what I understand in my history, especially World War II, that they were working on vertical takeoff, like the Harrier jets in the Marine Corps, where they vertically take off. That's what the Germans were working on. Because when we came back after World War II, at places like, Area 51, stuff has been declassified, they had test out things out there where they were trying to vertically take off.
Right.
And we believe that we
have planes that can do that.
Yeah, like I said, the Harrier jet, the Marine Corps, I don't know if they still use it. They used to use, I'm pretty sure the F-35 they're working on now can do that. Like, it's like the tail goes down and like vertically takes off. So, I mean, that's what the Bell was.
Well, see.
That the Germans had. But you've heard it was a time travel device.
Well, there was a bell-shaped thing fell out of the sky over like Kansas, and like whenever people went to it, the government came in and took it back. This is a conspiracy theory, but whenever people started, like, the pictures that people got of it before like the government came and took it match up almost identically to drawings that Hitler had in like one of his compounds that they believe was used for time travel. You said
this was in the 60s, right? Wouldn't it seem more likely that we had copied their design and were working on it, and then when it crashed, we didn't want the Russians to figure out the secret like military technology we were working on, so the government immediately went out there and was like, nothing happened here, don't worry about it, because our test aircraft is crashed.
Very well could be.
Would that make more sense than Hitler invented time travel and landed in Kansas?
That Hitler created time travel and landed in Kansas
in the 1960s.
He's running around somewhere today, old like Elvis, and
he's hanging out.
He's alive.
He wouldn't be hanging out with Elvis.
No, he wouldn't.
Elvis wouldn't put up with that.
He is alive and kicking because he made it out of there.
A lot of people said that he went to
here's a question for you. You ever seen the body of Hitler?
Yeah, we have.
Have you seen it personally?
No, I haven't seen it personally.
Then how do you
My God,
know?
what do I know to be real?
Exactly.
No, that was actually talking to one of the history things I was reading about. We found like dental records that matched. He was torched.
Yeah, because that can't be faked. I am
Tanner's
the conspiracy theorist.
I'm living in 2018. Tanner's in 2020 right now. Coming back to me. My pissant knowledge.
anyways, we need to get on to Bigfoot.
Well, I'm just going to wrap it up with that. I don't believe anything about the aliens.
You don't believe in the aliens at all?
The whole Area 51 thing, I believe, was just us during the Cold War trying to further military technology. I will say one thing about the Nazis that you touched on is they were big on increasing how to make better weapons, keep pushing, study.
Right.
I mean, they were forcing scientists to work round the clock, like come up with better stuff.
Right.
I mean, look at some of the stuff they did come up with. I mean, you have the King Tiger tank. You've got, the Sturmgewehr, the first assault rifle, an actual assault rifle.
So,
came out.
You don't believe in aliens? Mm-mm. Why is Area 51 off limits?
Because now it has such a nostalgia about it. Everybody keeps trying to jump the fence to get in there, see what's going on about it. But back in the day, I believe that's where they were testing stealth aircraft.
Okay, but why is it still off limits?
If you let me finish like that, I think like the SR-71 Black. I'm pretty sure
the Black Hawk, yeah.
Not the Black Hawk, but that was one of them.
Yeah.
But the SR-71 Blackbird, the one that was hypersonic, the one we were spying on the Soviet Union with.
Yeah.
That's where it was housed.
That's cool. Why is it still off limits?
Why is it so? It's a military base. How many military bases do you know you can go on to right now?
A lot. A lot of them.
You can just walk on any military base now.
Hey, yo, I'm here to see Joey. Thanks.
They give you a little pass, but I mean, it's the same. Okay, here's another thing that you have a problem with your whole alien theory with Area 51.
Okay.
It's falling apart. Have you seen modern footage of Area 51?
Maybe on the outside of it's falling apart. Maybe not on the inside.
Maybe there's still things that the government has worked on that they store there they don't want the public to know.
Well, maybe what is it that the government says, or police officers? If you ain't doing nothing wrong, you ain't got nothing to hide.
If you want to bring that into the point of the government, then that's a whole nother video. If you want to bring up, hey government, if you ain't got nothing illegal, then what are you hiding, dude? Then you're gonna go down a rabbit hole that's gonna end somewhere in North Korea.
Well, okay, I'm gonna say I don't believe in aliens. We can't prove that there's not any.
If there are, I believe they're probably like microscopic organisms floating around in some like primitive water source somewhere on a foreign planet.
Something that I will go out on a limb and say.
Some people think we're the aliens.
Yeah.
Have you heard that theory?
I have heard that.
We're the aliens. The dinosaurs were the natural people here,
Yeah.
and like some of the little mammals and stuff. But then when we landed, we were the aliens, and we don't remember where we came from.
That we were on the asteroid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That it was.
I've heard that.
You've heard that before?
Yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah, but I've heard it. Yeah.
You like that theory?
Yeah, I like it.
No. Yeah, that we were the aliens and we've taken over. We just didn't know that we arrived here.
Very well could be.
Because, think about it. Out of all we're not like, that's actually a lot. We're actually a lot like other animals.
Yeah.
But, with our level of intelligence.
Yeah. There's nothing else on the planet that matches ours.
Our intelligence, no.
Right.
We are the masters of this planet, mainly due to our intelligence. Whether you believe that was given to us from God or whether we just naturally developed it, eating better food, just happened, or whatever you believe, there's a theory out there that says we are aliens who have landed on this planet and we took over.
Is that what you believe?
Oh, God, no. No, that's not what I believe at all. But we're talking about it. I'm like, that is a theory. Some people believe that we were the aliens who come. We have already come. They have already taken over.
It's us. It's us.
What's that Star Wars meme going
We did it.
Of course I know him. He's me.
Yeah. No big.
So anyways,
I will go out on a limb and say I do not believe in aliens. For the simple fact of I am religious. And so I believe in like demons and angels and stuff like that. And I believe that if there was something like that, for the fact that I believe in religion, I feel like we would know.
I don't believe into it, and I'm just gonna stay away from my beliefs. The less people know like about my political and religious beliefs.
Well, that's why I understand. Going out on a limb there.
Yeah, you were pretty broad about it, but I'm just not even gonna go there. I don't believe it just for the simple fact of like I said, there might be aliens out there, but I don't see them. If you look at the stuff that's in space, to ignore our planet.
Yeah.
Look at the things that are in space.
Yeah.
Navigate through that.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Magnetars, supermassive black holes, asteroid belts. There are things like, there's even things we put into space, like screws and stuff, that are going like thousands of miles an hour just flying through space.
You have to avoid it.
Yeah, exactly. And then for them to come to our planet, also look at our planet, they'd have to enter through the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Have you seen things when they go through the atmosphere?
Yeah.
It's a big fireball. Even the things we put that return, it goes through the atmosphere. And we would see them entering, or at least you think, especially NASA with all the weather radar and all that stuff, we would see them coming through the atmosphere.
You would think.
So no, I absolutely believe it's just hogwash. If there is alien life out there, that like I told Tanner earlier, it's probably like some little single cell organism that's inside of some little, like buried deep down on the bottom of a planet where there's like some volcanic juices going on, a little bit of water circulating. And that's the thing that everybody's making Hollywood movies on, this little no-brained organism that's just like, maybe making another Earth. Theoretically. Maybe we're not. You bring in religion. We're gonna have to cut Bigfoot for part 2 in another video. But if you think, you bring in religion and stuff. But just as a simple, like from a scientific perspective, it's possible that maybe we were an anomaly, but maybe we're not the only one. Maybe there's another Earth out there forming somewhere. Not that they're going to have intelligence.
That's a whole nother conversation.
We're in the realm of conspiracy here. So is it possible that what happened here, the conditions were just right, could it happen somewhere else? Some people could say no if you believe in God, and I respect that. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion and stuff. But if you want to go just from a logical, scientific perspective, it was a 1 in a million chance that we formed, everything happened like it did. 1 in a trillion, maybe even bigger than that. What are the odds of it ever happening? And it did happen is incredible. But what if the odds were good for it to happen once, then theoretically the odds are there for it to happen again. Which means somewhere on the other side of wherever, boom, and the whole thing could start all over again. Almost identical to this planet. And possibly even have human beings.
You want to talk about crazy odds? This is off topic, but just think about, what are the chances of me and you meeting?
Oh, incredibly slim.
Incredibly slim.
Well, not that slim, though. We live in similar areas.
Now, hang on. What's the chances of your mom and dad meeting and having you? Now, let's just say that your mom and dad, what's the chances of them having sex at that exact moment, and the 1 out of 4 million that you actually are the one that made it out?
You're going down a road.
And then that one my family made, and it all came down for me and you to meet. What are the chances? 1 in a Google?
A Google?
A Googleplex?
A Google.
1 in a Googleplex.
1 in a Googleplex. That's a number I'm using now.
Yeah.
1 in a Googleplex.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it is
the
crazy.
odds.
It's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to. We'll cut
We'll
this
talk
short.
about Bigfoot in a part 2 episode.
Yeah, we bit off a little more than we could chew with this one.
We usually
Aliens
do that.
turned out to be a very large topic. So we're going to talk about Bigfoot in a part 2. If you like it, please comment down below and let us know. So be looking for that one coming in the next week or 2. But
maybe 3.
yeah, maybe even 3 weeks from now. We have a lot going on in the next few weeks. The background's going to be changing and stuff. But
We got some exciting stuff coming up in the future, man.
Yeah.
Big plans. But yeah, that's it for this one.
Yeah. Thanks for coming along, guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give it a like. And think about subscribing, hitting that notification bell so these get sent straight to your phone instead of just scrolling and randomly finding us. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this on any podcasting
If you're watching this
app,
on a device that doesn't allow any kind of video.
Right,
or
yeah,
an app that
yeah.
allows no video.
headphones, listen to speakers, whatever.
What happened to consuming?
Consuming. I love it, but you always bitch when I say consuming.
Because, I mean, it's...
I got you.
Say consume.
If you're consuming this anywhere, you consume podcast. Be sure to consume it on a regular basis by hitting that subscription button, and maybe even think about leaving a rating so other people can find us, so they can consume our content.
What are we?
And all the consumption will happen.
What are we, like 1 out of 5 dentists approve of us or something like
That's
that?
right. Yeah.
Alrighty.
60% of the time, it works every time. Anyways, thanks for coming along, guys, in all seriousness. But we'll see you next Monday.
We'll see you.